Well, hello again, everyone. It's your man, Cowboy Star, coming back at you. That's right, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry it's been a couple of days, friends, but sometimes the job and work and life just gets in the way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm going to do the right thing and I'm just going to pretend none of that ever happened, okay? And I'm going to talk more about our Dallas Cowboys. Well, folks, it's not going to be a very exciting week this week. We have a bye week, and the Cowboys are off. So, of course, when that happens, when we have a lot of free time on our hands, you know what we do. We get a new bonehead of the week. That's right, we've got a new bonehead of the week. One Diamante KZ. Let me hear it for Diamante. Guess what Diamante KZ did on his day off? He got a DWI. Really? Just what we needed to tarnish our image. We had a perfect year going with no outside noise or outside distractions. And Diamante KZ gets a DWI after he whiffs on a pass that he got burned on in the game. I could see it if he had a big game, but he didn't do diddly poo in the game. And then he goes out and gets drunk. I guess he was depressed after that shitty game he played, and he had got a DWI. So pretty much so far this week since we've been off, that's been the top story of the week. Congratulations, KZ. We don't know the status of him, his plan, or if he's going to get suspended or just fined or what. As far as I know, he can still play because the NFL hasn't, they haven't came down with a judgment yet on this. But oh well, enough about the bonehead of the week. Lyle Collins, you get a reprieve for a while. You just got replaced by KZ as the bonehead of the team. So congratulations. But Zeke was talking about how he has changed his ways of last year as far as preparing and what he called a shit show of a year last year. He said this past off season was all about his body. That's right. All about his body getting ready for the season. And so far, Zeke has not fumbled one time that I recall. Maybe once, but he recovered it. Let's knock on wood on that. I'm going to pretend I didn't say that either. But he's on pace. Right now, he's got 521 yards for the season after 6 games, which would roughly put him on pace for about 1,500 yards if he doesn't get injured or hurt. He's dealing with a sore knee, and a sore hip from falling on the yard marker. Everybody knows that. But Zeke's had a pretty good season this year. He's kept his nose clean. He's been running hard. Showed a little more quickness, a little more speed. About time you earned your paycheck, Zeke. You're only making $15 million a year. And we can get the same production almost out of Tony Pollard, but that's another show. We won't even go there either. But remains to be seen what we're going to do this off season, far as when Tank Lawrence is still on the shelf, but he'll be coming back. You're paying him $20 million a year. I kind of think we're going to get rid of Tank and insert Michael Parsons at defensive end. When he was playing defensive end, he was making star of the game. Hadn't heard much since he's been back at linebacker. So, I mean, I'm not a professional, I don't know everything, but it just seems to me like the numbers alone would warrant you to want to get rid of Tank, seeing as how especially he still has not produced anything since you paid him the 20 million. Oh yeah, that year that he had a contract year, he was lighting it on fire. But since then, what's happened? Nothing. Very few sacks, very few pressures. It's a no-brainer to me. You can't fall in love with all your players, Jerry. You got to do something. Quit signing all these big, multi-year, long-term, high-dollar contracts to all these players. Dalton Schultz has slowly become Dak's security blanket. We all thought that going into the season, since Jarwin was healthy, that he was going to be the number one tight end, but I kind of think Schultz has took his place. Slowly, he's kind of took his job away. He's getting very few catches. Dalton Schultz is getting most of the catches at tight end. But in my opinion, folks, in reviewing the first 6 games that we've played, and we got a 5-1 record, are you drinking the Koolaide? I got a question. Be sure and leave a comment on here. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid with the Dallas Cowboys so far this year? That's a question of the day for y'all. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I should have said that at the beginning of the video. A lot of y'all are viewing, but I'm not getting the subscribers that I'd like to see. So I'd appreciate that if y'all would subscribe to the channel when you're looking at the videos. That helps out a whole lot. I do appreciate the ones that already have subscribed. But in my opinion, the Cowboys need to work on a couple of things to even get a better improvement on return on what they've done so far. And in my opinion, the number one thing is they have to cut way back on the other opponent. That's right, the other opponent that is always hampering us, and that's the penalties. You see, you can have the opponent you're facing, and then you can have penalties as your other opponent. It's hard enough to beat one opponent. But when you got 2 opponents you got to try to beat, what's your odds of winning? It cuts way back, doesn't it? So Zeke said in his press conference that they not only beat the Patriots last week, that they overcame the refs too. Now, is it our fault that we're getting these penalties, or is it we blaming it on the refs? You can't blame it on the refs. It's your fault if you got a penalty, okay? You got to clean this up, man. We can't be having these penalties. Now, I'm not trying to be the bad guy here, okay? Like I said before, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel if I didn't love the Cowboys, okay? I'm just speaking facts, okay? We've got to clean up the penalties. Because penalties can beat you just like the team you're playing. And I think that's one thing that the Cowboys still haven't showed me that they're ready to clean up. The number 2 thing, get a better pass rush. We're getting some pressures from Randy Gregory. And of course, this last game, he did get 2 sacks. But before that, we barely even touched the quarterback. And Randy Gregory's really the only one that's showing me that he can even get pressure on the quarterback. He can even get near him. So my number 2 thing to work on for the Cowboys on this bye week is improve the pass rush. Let's get to the quarterback. Also, we need to kind of improve the stop the run game too. We're not terribly bad, but the last week the Patriots did pretty much every time they ran the ball, they got the yards they wanted to get. It wasn't no 1 or 2 yard stops. They were getting 5 and 6 yard bursts every time they got a handoff. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is my favorite one. How many of y'all are going to agree with me? The Cowboys still hadn't played a complete complementary game. We still haven't played to perfection yet. We're hitting on all cylinders. One game we might be hitting on the passing game. One minute, one game we might be hitting on the running game, but we still got penalties. We have not played a game yet where we had hardly any penalties. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot, and we didn't have both the pass and the run going. We didn't have the defensive pass rush going, and we didn't stop the run. We have not done all 5 of those things yet in one game. And we're still 5-1. So just think, guys. If we did all 5 of those things and stop the penalty, let's make it 6. What kind of team would we be then? We'd be beating everybody 50 or 60 to nothing every week. So if I was Mike McCarthy, those are the 6 things that I'd be working on this week, in addition to preparing in a game plan for the Minnesota Vikings. So we're going to see what we're made of this week. The Vikings are a pretty good team. They got a pretty good defensive head coach. And we're going to see what we're made of. So the Cowboys are off this Sunday, guys. What are y'all going to do this Sunday? Watch football? Or y'all got something else planned? I'm still going to watch some football this weekend. I got some things to do around this house and some projects for the wife, but I'm still going to watch my football. That's about all the Cowboys have going on right now. It's kind of a prep week other than the bonehead of the week, Diamante KZ. The Cowboys are off and they're getting ready for the Minnesota Vikings. So if anything else breaks, you know how we do around here. We'll report it to you. And we'll get back with you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. With that being said, don't be a bonehead. I'm out.